At 261 pounds. His professional record is 23 wins, 10 losses, and 1 draw, with 18 wins by knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, from New Orleans, Louisiana, introducing Lionel Butler. And fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black, he weighed in at 248 pounds. His professional record is 25 wins, 1 loss, with 21 wins by knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, from East London, England, presenting the former heavyweight champion of the world, Lennox Lewis.
Well, there you have it then, Lennox Lewis, as I say, on the comeback trail, and this is a very, very important match. The winner of this will be considered, alongside with Mike Tyson, of course, the #1 contender for the WBC Championship. The holder currently is Oliver McCall.
And I told you what mine is. Let's all do our job properly, okay? Good luck to both of you. Shake hands.
Oliver McCall, of course, the man who took the championship from Lewis with that second round surprise stoppage last September. This is Lennox's first outing since then. And of course, McCall will defend against Frank Bruno before either Tyson or Lewis or Butler can get a crack at him. And there's a very good chance that McCall won't be champion by then anyway. So Lionel Butler, whose best chance might be early on, not in the best of shapes, I'm afraid. Lousy start to his professional career. Poor record. In fact, I dispute the record that came up on the screen. I've got him 22 wins, 10 losses, 1 draw. With 17 men beat inside the distance. But plenty of good names on the record. Made his debut against former Lewis victim, Phil Jackson. Fought Riddick Bowe and was stopped in only his second fight. And Butler outscored over 10 rounds by Oliver McCall, the reigning champion back in 1990. But since 1991 and his loss to Kevin Ford, he's unbeaten in 15 fights. And that's nice work by Lewis there. Left hand right uppercut. And of course, Lewis managed by Frank Maloney, who really pulled off a coup by signing Lewis when they all wanted him. Former European, British and Commonwealth champion Lennox Lewis, as well of course as WBC champion, and was awarded the championship, you may remember, controversial circumstances, having beaten Razor Ruddock in a couple of rounds. He was recognised retrospectively by the WBC and made his first defence against Tony Tucker, which he won on points. Then came from behind to beat Frank Bruno in 7 before that win over Jackson, and then the subsequent loss to Oliver McCall. And of course, Lewis became the first heavyweight champion from Britain, if you forget the Canadian connection, since Bob Fitzsimmons stopped James J. Corbett in the 14th round in 1897, the 17th of March. So half a minute to go then in round 1. And obviously Lennox Lewis very wary of the power that Butler possesses. He flattened James Bonecrusher Smith in 3, you may remember. And I suppose the biggest win really for him was when he beat Tony Tubbs, the former WBA champion, in the first round, as Lewis there gets through the nice left-right. Well, good first round there. Not a great deal between them, but Lennox Lewis looks like his better boxing has taken it for him.
pay it up, and when you start seeing the opportunities,
well, that was that big sweeping right, and Lewis really made that one look better than it was. He just stumbled with the right foot.
You understand? You can't catch you out here.
So it's round 2 then. Lewis, 93 amateur contests. He won 58 of them by knockout. Very impressive. Big, tall man. Unfortunately, I've always found him a bit dull in front of a TV camera when it comes to speaking. And preferring, of course, let his fist do the talking, which he's doing here. Butler strong enough to give most heavyweights a hard time, at least for a few rounds. But not in the best of shape. From journeyman loser to potential contender, Lionel Butler. What a story. And of course, the WBC have already said that they will recognise Mike Tyson as the #1 contender, regardless of what else happens. And well, Lionel Butler now getting booed by this crowd. He's trying the old rope-a-dope tactics there, but Lewis taking advantage of his lapse. They're warning Lewis not to do that. Nice left-hand work there from Lennox Lewis and the trainer Emmanuel Stewart. Really just fine-tuning what was already a good fighting machine in the shape of Lewis. And really the night McCall won the championship, he got lucky, and I will say that until the day I die. He shut his eyes through a massive right hand. It whacked Lennox on the chin. It was a great punch, no doubt, and then there's nothing chinny about Lennox Lewis at all. It was a very good punch. But I did feel the referee was right to stop it. Another good round this for Lewis, in fact a much better one. Looks like he's tamed this bear of a fighter already. One of the judges for this contest, Larry O'Connell from England. Round 3 then of this scheduled 12-rounder. And still Lionel Butler's only opportunity, really, is to crack in an almighty punch. He's got a tough head, though, Butler, but Lewis there cracked him with the right hand. And this is much better work by Lewis. I criticised him in the past as being a bit slow, a bit ponderous, but using the combinations nicely here. At one time, a Lennox Lewis combination was a jab, and then 15 seconds later, you might be lucky to get another one. But now he's using both hands. What a difference it's made. Still more improvement to come, though, I think. And the one match, of course, we all want to see is Lewis square up against Riddick Bowe. A man, of course, Lewis beat as an amateur. One of the assistant trainers of Lennox Lewis, Harold the Shadow Knight, former contender. still hoping. Lewis comes in and sticks out his chin. But you really should only make that mistake once in your life. And Lewis there being told off by Denkin for standing on the foot of Butler. That does happen though when he switches to southpaw. Feet tend to collide. Well, Lewis now looking very confident, and Denkin really is completely out of order here, because that's a very legitimate thing to do, to turn an opponent. Well, what a shame they've got an old man who's forgotten some of the finer points of this particular sport to referee. There's no law against turning an opponent. In fact, so many of the finer points of this sport forgotten by so many fighters. So, good round then for Lewis.
Stay on the point.
There it is again, and that was a right old stumble by Butler, wasn't it? Good punch. So we've had 4 rounds. Lewis has won them all. And Marty Denkin has jumped on Lewis for every conceivable offence so far. And unjustifiably as well. And down goes Butler now. Right hand, followed by a stiff left from Lewis. And the momentum put Butler over. Can he finish him? Round 5. Scheduled for 12, of course. And Butler was stopped in 3 of his first half-dozen fights, but he hasn't been stopped since. And again, a hard right by Lewis. Oops, and that's a miss. And a stumble. Yes, of course, Denkin there. Butler's friend having a word with Lewis for that. I'm just wondering if Denkin will deem to disqualify Lennox Lewis for something or other. Again, nice boxing from Lewis, not doing anything rash, just dismantling really Butler. Well, Butler now looking reticent. He's getting hurt. He can't outbox Lewis. He can barely connect with the big punch he needs. And this is perfect for Lewis now. He's completely demoralised him. And of course, Lewis is fighting too here. He's fighting not only Butler, but also the very officious Marty Denkin. Well, the crowd are not appreciating the finer points here. Once again, Butler gets hit with a right and thought about going down from it. Well, oh la la. Well, that's a swallow. Sorry, that is a capitulation by Lionel Butler. But one of the reasons, of course, for it is he's been completely outclassed and outpunched by Lennox Lewis. So, congratulations then to Lewis Camp. And I hope Frank Maloney, Lewis's manager, complains to the WBC for Denkin's handling of that contest. That was poor.
Winner of this WBC heavyweight title eliminator bout. At 2 minutes and 55 seconds of the 5th round, Lennox Lewis.
So Lewis then does it. He completely demoralised Lionel Butler, forced him to quit, really. Butler was begging for half a punch so he could go down and out. Which brings us to the end of our programme this evening.
A tremendous performance, and the nightmare of Oliver McCall must have disappeared.
Definitely. You know, this was a fight preparing for Oliver McCall, and the same way I boxed there, I'm going to box the same way when I box Oliver McCall again, because I want my title back.
He came out in the first round a bit like Oliver McCall.
Yeah, he did. You know, I learned from my mistakes, and I was definitely prepared for him to come out like that, because he's got a very tenacious style. So I made sure that I was on my P's and Q's.
At the end of the 4th round, the advice in the corner was you're letting the fight go at his pace, step it up to your own pace, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, basically, I realized that he was getting tired because he weighs 260 pounds, and I realized that 260 pounds can't touch this. So as long as I stepped it up a bit, then he was out of his realm.
How much of a difference, to be honest, did having Emmanuel Stewart in your corner really make?
A big difference, because he's a good tactician. We go in there with some strategy, and we basically pull out great performances like that.
This man, Butler, was reckoned, apart from Mike Tyson, to be perhaps the most dangerous man in world boxing. You've now beaten him in pretty spectacular fashion. You must be due a rematch with Oliver McCall.
Oh, I'm definitely preparing for that. And if Oliver's listening, you're the one I'm waiting for. And also I'd like to say Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.
Well done, a great performance, splendidly done.
Thank you. Respect.